I'm actually a boy who wants to be a girl.
Huh?
Okay, but you are actually a girl. This whole thing has gotten really esoteric.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What?
Hello, friend. Welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we are wrapping up the Unfortunate saga. After a year, it's basically been maybe a year or two. I don't know how long I've kept this on the shelf, but yes, it's finally time to wrap it. If you missed the previous parts, that playlist in the description, and it is a very long saga. Up until Chris Trucker appeared, it was the longest saga on the channel. But now it's time to put it to bed. Maybe we'll get some compilations together shortly. We'll see how it goes. Let's not delay any longer. We will get this show on the road. Brute's accounts, the Unfortunate and her two faces. And both of those faces are terrifying. Isn't that interesting? Brute here again. And last night I opened up about all the times that I remember that Nookie transformed herself to be a suitable companion to, well, whoever she was into. And today, while chatting with Peacock and Greenie, I got these memories and ideas to share all of the crap that she would talk behind people's back. From others, I've heard what she has said about me. About Greenie, our main heroine of the Unfortunate series, she has always had a lot to say. It started as,
Greenie's a horrible backstabber who stole my baby daddy,
and a whole lot of other horrible things that she claimed Greenie had done, only to be friends with her again soon after. See, she doesn't want to be alone. She wants to be upset at anybody besides herself, but she also doesn't want to be alone. I sussed this one out already. I always wondered why I decided to stay far away from Greenie back then. She painted her in a very bad light. In her rants about the woes of her life, she said how
Greenie was an idiot, Greenie was bad at drawing, and her art style is trash.
She talked about how Greenie was
not good enough for Naruto headband,
and how she did not understand
what he saw in her. What made Greenie so much better than her?
Unfortunately, he also felt it prudent to mention how
she was a much better lover than Greenie.
You got a basis for comparison in that? Also, she loved to make jabs about how Greenie was
not as good at martial arts as she thought, and sucked at Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh no, you've cut me to the very core of my being. But she did spew a lot of petty BS about Greenie, and yet still leaned on her with just about everything. What a troubled soul. There's a lot to unpack. About Naruto headbands, Unfortunately, didn't usually have very many bad things to say. Only about
what an idiot he was to be with Greenie.
Yeah, that's just jealousy talking. She would also talk very badly about her mother and father, and even about her brother, too. Pretty much anyone who she was related to who did not cater to her every whim. I wonder how that's going a decade on. She's probably learning some hard lessons about life. She would also bash Vegan all the time, especially during the time that they were roommates.
What an idiot she was!
Behaving like the apartment was hers, and
how annoying she always was complaining about cleaning!
While in her mind, the apartment was perfectly fine. It was not. It was filthy and smelly, just like Unfortunate was. I mean, organized mind, organized life. I assume that goes the same for a filthy mind, no? About Emo, she just loved a slut-shamer. Just because Emo developed crushes easily and has had, what, like 5 boyfriends to this day? But yeah, to Nookie, Emo was a complete harlot. I wonder what she herself was, since she has had many more lovers than 5 throughout the years, but yeah, she just loved to call any girl that name. It seemed to be her favorite insult. I still remember the shit-eating grin that she would have when she would hiss that word out of her mouth. Yeah, if I call other people the thing, then I can't possibly be the thing. It happens a lot with LegbeardStories as well. And of course, about her ex-lovers.
How curly Nookie was a fat mama's boy loser. Bear was just a man whore. And Kendo was a nasty sexual assaulter.
Until he wasn't, of course. She ever talked smack about first love, that perv. How he was a kitty diddler that had child pee on his computer. I don't know how true that one was, but I wouldn't be surprised. That dude really was a creep. I vaguely remember that. Isn't that the one that said he didn't want to have kids because he tried to bang him or something? Against the wall. Everybody in the story, just go over there. We'll let God sort him out, all right? About Peacock, she complained that
she didn't have enough time for her, and she didn't understand why Peacock did not return her feelings.
And also,
Peacock is getting fat. She should watch what she's eating.
Also how she was a totally crap friend for not bending to all of Unfortunate Nookie's needs. Just like how she treats her family, hey! But I think she knew not to talk smack to me behind Peacock's back. But I cannot say the same about Peacock. I wish she would have told me much sooner about Nookie talking BS behind my back, because I would have ripped into her even sooner if I had known. I think it's pretty safe to assume that everybody is talking behind everybody else's back, okay? If you just assume the worst, then nobody can hurt you. Handy hits for life. The stuff I know, what she said about me. When we met, I was like 16 or 17, and I liked the Twilight books. Ugh. Hell, vampires. Why wouldn't I love romantic vampires as a teenager? She owned all of them herself, and she read them. Yeah, but like, I only did that ironically. She also said I was mean because I don't like hugs or clinginess from people that I'm not close with. And besides, she smelled horrendous, so I would yeet her to hell if she ever tried to clutch onto my arm. I mean, that's fine. People got boundaries. She don't like it? Well, it's not her boundaries. She doesn't get to decide. OP says, yes, I do have my issues. Who does not? I live with a mentally ill father and narcissistic mother. I had my own problems and didn't care for more unnecessary BS, even though I did try to help her and even felt sorry for her. She's got her own set of family problems. Really, everybody here on the island of broken toys has some sort of problem. It's what you decide to do with the hand that you were dealt that really matters. Sitting around feeling sorry for yourself is not the correct answer. Unfortunate Nookie said,
Brute's brain must be underdeveloped because she's so skinny and small.
Jealous. Yes, I was skinny, but I was not anywhere near anorexia, and I'm not even that short. I just happened to be smaller than her, and she had a big issue about herself not being small and cute. Well, bull freakity hoo. Well, I was naturally small, still am, even though I weigh like 15 to 20 kilos more than back then, now when I have some muscle built. It was just a really weird way of calling me stupid, I suppose. Anyway, I know she called me a harlot and a cold bitch and an a-hole as well, which yeah, I can be an a-hole, I suppose. I don't claim that I'm not. I say things as they are. And as I mean them. I aim to be honest, and I hate lying. Doesn't always work out in my favor, but I don't mind. And I know it's not pretty to hear often, but I still aim to do these things in a kind way. Well, you and me are more similar than I thought. I also like to lay it down quite flat, and yeah, sometimes feelings get hurt. But if you can see past your own ego down to the truth of what I have said, maybe you could change yourself for the better. Not unfortunately, but like any of the OPs that I broke their heart in the past. There's been 3 or 4. I have some regrets. I have tried to be nicer, but it is what it is. But if you're into stupid crap, yeah, I'm gonna tell you so. Well, I can't sign off on that, OP. Let people enjoy what they enjoy as long as it's not too untoward. I don't understand the appeal of a lot of things, but I can accept that other people like it. That's fine. Not a hill I'm willing to die on. Usually my calling people out is like, yeah, your behavior's poor. That's the stuff that actually matters. Anyways, Nookie never appreciated this feature in me because she loved her some yes men. She hated me telling and pleading her to take her meds, but they, quote unquote,
made her get fat.
She did not appreciate me telling her that she shouldn't buy so much anime stuff if she didn't have enough to buy food afterwards. When she tried to make me buy her food like Peacock and the others offered her with her,
Oh, whoa! I haven't eaten today!
see, that's not being into stupid crap. That's making poor decisions. You definitely should call her out on those things. She probably ain't gonna take it well, but that's fine. One day you'll look back and you'll say, damn, OP was right. And the very thing that I am still salty and mad with her about is the way she spoke about me and my husband. And if I ever meet her face to face, I will confront her about it. It's how she reacted in our relationship and then to the news of our engagement. Hubby and I were 2 years into a long-term relationship before him moving here and us getting engaged. When we started talking and I went to visit him in another country, she called me a tourist. Yeah, okay, look who's talking, little Miss Spain and New York lawyer daddy. Yeah, you're using that word? I don't think you know what it actually means, Nookie. She's not like hitting up all the bars. She's there to see a specific person. If you travel to another country to bone down one specific person that you've built a relationship with, I don't think that counts. Although, I might be biased.
It's not going to last! She's stupid to think that it will!
Unfortunately, had told a friend when talking about my relationship. And my favorite,
Brute only got engaged as a joke. He won't laugh. I get they break it off once the glamour has faded.
like the lion, the witch, the audacity of this. Well, you have to see it from her perspective. She's never had a functional relationship. She doesn't even know that that's a thing. She's just presuming that you would take the same actions that she would do. She would only ever get engaged for the attention, and when she stops getting attention, she's like, all right, deuces then. She's not in her right mind, and I'd say cut her slack, but we've cut her so much slack already. It's whatever. Continue the descent. Now, I know that she's had an issue with the fact that my husband is American Portuguese, while she was trying so hard to nail herself a green card man to get to the USA, which has been her obsession for a very long time. Not all it's cracked up to be, honestly. It's good to have dreams, though. It would help a lot if you took any steps at all to achieve them. I mean, aside from just, like, spreading your legs. Anyway, she also said that
they only got married so he can come and stay in this country.
Like, we got married 2 years after he moved into this country, and he doesn't even need a green card since, you know, he's got Portuguese citizenship. But she was always so jealous and so very petty, as we've come to see throughout this series. But anyway, me and my husband will celebrate 10 years together next summer, so I guess it has been a really long joke, huh? Yeah, once you guys finally break it off, that punchline's gonna be totally worth it. It'll be like a decade of build-up, dude. You were so committed. How did I not see this coming? We got one more post before we can call all POVs of the Unfortunate Nookie saga wrapped, so let's jump into that right now. Brute's accounts from a Legbeard to a Neckbeard, Nookie saga finale. Goodbye, Unfortunate Nookie. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Here we are, close to the end of Greenie's Nookie saga, and have arrived to the point where I stepped off the crazy train for good. That time when the Legbeard claimed to be a Neckbeard. Yeah, this has been a hot button issue, hasn't it? For starters, I want to declare that I am a supporter of the LGBTQ+, and I believe trans to be a real thing. Everyone should be exactly how and who they want to be in their own lives, as long as they don't fiddle with kids or do things that harm others. But I also know Nookie and her crazy shenanigans. Shenanigans. I generally do agree with that. But yeah, I think it's also sort of the Chris Chan thing, where you're using your gender identity as a get out of jail free card. But I don't know, man. Nor can I really be forced to give a damn, right? Things were just simpler in the 90s. Do whatever you want and leave me alone. So, around the time when Nookie lived with Greenie, which I opposed because I knew it would be a disaster, I had already heard that Greenie was not doing well and had issues involving Nookie and her fiancé, Naruto Headband. I'd already heard through the grapevine and from Nookie herself that she is hanging with some trans folk and trans-minded folk. One of her friends actually transitioned, and it honestly didn't surprise me at all because of how he was as a person. It just made sense in this case. I mean, I don't think you really get to be the arbiter of who makes sense with transitioning and who doesn't. People have their own experiences. Maybe this is something they've been struggling with for a long time. Even if it comes out of the blue. See the line that I just said. Whatever. Do what you want, leave me alone. Continuing. We were discussing some mundane things when out of the blue, Nookie goes,
I've been thinking of asking for a doctor to cut my off.
Are you sure about that?
Cool. This took me off guard because this was in the middle of talking about a completely different topic that was serious as hell. She directed the talk towards her and diverted into other things. Once again, I of course asked what the hell she means by that. And she went on this whole spiel about her troubles, as she usually does.
I think I'm actually a boy who wants to be a girl.
Huh?
And carried on with other nonsense about her boy who wants to be a girl talk, which I was like, what? Okay, but you are actually a girl. This whole thing has gotten really esoteric.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What?
Through the years, Nookie had done the,
Oh, now I'm lesbian or bi or polysexual, etc.
so many times, changing herself depending on whoever her latest romantic interest is, or for the shock factor? Who really knows why? And I know she always had the need to be the most
Special being in the room.
This is just the new form that your specialness has taken. Nobody can question or invalidate it, or they get called phobe names. It's a bold move. Let's see how it works out for him. So I questioned her stand once again. So you're a girl who's a boy who wants to be a girl? Nookie was like, yes! Until I said, okay, but you already are a girl. She kicked up a fuss about that and tried to explain more about her honestly nonsensical explanation of being a girl who's a boy who wants to be a girl. Yeah, make that make sense to me because it has been years and I still can't make any sense of it. Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Do whatever you want, leave me alone. And I was just done at this point. I had been done with her for quite some time already, honestly, and all the build-up with her extremely manipulative tactics of snatching hoo-has and ding-dongs had finally reached its limit. All her lies, her excessive and very quick changes into who she is, just made me so tired of her. I think that's why I shelved the series for as long as I did. She's just exhausting, there's a lot of repetitious stuff in it. It's regrettable, but I don't feel like we ever really got down into the meat of the matter. Surely there's got to be some magic bullet in her family life or personal life that explains all of this. And probably there isn't, and she is who she is, but I'm just gonna keep pretending that the magic bullet exists for my own sanity. If I had truly believed that she was trans, I would have been like, oh, okay, no worries. But her,
I'm a girl who's a boy who wants to be a girl.
it was just so Nookie. It was the way that she said it, how she explained it to me that still makes me doubt. Or maybe I'm just a total for not believing him. Oh, but you switched up the pronouns, okay. This is like, yeah, I totally don't believe you, but do whatever you want. There are actual people who are trans who go through a serious matter for real, who go through treatments and live as the opposite sex because it is who they are. And then there's this manipulative monster of a being telling me how she basically wants to be what we call these days a trap. Yeah, she just wants to hide a big old ding-dong under her miniskirt, you know? Takes different strokes to move the world, I guess. It angered me how throughout the years she had lied about abuse and all sorts of horrible things for attention, so why would this be any different? I had my doubts. Some serious doubts. So I told her that to get any doctor to remove her, she'd have to go to therapy for several years and get the trans diagnosis because they wouldn't be removing healthy tissue just on a whim. Unless she goes to some shady practice, and even there they'd probably deny her because her medical records would say that she's literally mentally ill. Besides, she's broke. How's she supposed to pay for it? And oh boy, she got mad and ended the conversation post-haste. Come on, OP, we're not supposed to ask questions based on reality. This is Nookie World! I wouldn't have given this any thought at all. I would have said, good luck, let you find out all those things for yourself. After this point, we didn't speak much. I did hear how she dissed others and still saw her posts on Facebook and all, until she came to me, of all people, to whine about Greenie going crazy. I vaguely remember that breakdown arc, yes. Only problem was, I'd already heard all about it from Peacock, and I told Unfortunate Nookie as much. And I also mentioned how she is in the wrong here. Very wrong. I don't know what the hell she was looking for. Support? Guidance? Well, that ship sailed a long time ago, all the way to the undying lands of Tolkien, meaning that I had zero left to give her. Not even one? Not even half of one? Yeah, me either. Like I said, that's why we shelved the series forever. I'm like, maybe it'll get more interesting if we wait to get back into it. It hasn't. It's the same shenanigans ad nauseum. So Nookie tried playing the victim and acted all holier than thou because now she was trans and Greenie was just so mean. And she really did not like it when I told her that everyone has been for years trying to tell her to do better. Apologize when she does wrong and not this constant, well, I'm sorry for existing BS. But in the end, yeah, I was just done with her. She would not truly change, not ever. It was always just play pretend to her. And one day she'll realize it, and it'll be too late. Well, she ended up deleting most of her friends off Facebook and other social medias because they all said what she was doing was except for a few yes men. And I was one of them that got removed, which is completely fine with me, actually. Did me a favor of not having to do it myself. And the last message that I sent her was to tell her what an idiot she's being. And I told her to go, bleep herself. Seems a bit unnecessary. We don't even need a last message. You're just like, okay, that happened. Why do we need to have the last word? We don't. Just walk away. By the way, I won't call her a he in my stories because at the time this all happened, when I knew her, she still went by she, her, and still kinda does. But for the sake of the woke mob, I don't believe he is trans, but in the end, it doesn't really matter what I believe. See, there you go. It's not your experience. Is it a little sus? Yeah, sure, but you can't really invalidate what somebody else is going through. I basically have to take you at your word. OP clarifies that for me, it's one of those things that Nookie does in her messed up mind in order to scream for attention. Like the asexuality while also being very into pleasuring herself with a giant silicone dong just to get into the pants of an asexual lesbian. Oh, I do miss the night. It was a simpler time, wasn't it? At a certain point, this is all just too much for an old man. There's so many boxes, and Nookie's really trying to find the box that she fits in, shape-shifting to become what she thinks other people need her to be instead of just embracing who she actually is or who she actually wants to be. All in all, it is like a really sad story. A sad, frustrating story. Because with Nookie, of course, it's always been about attention and doing the most shocking, weird things that she could come up with. I much prefer the Amanda Legbeard story. It was succinct, kind of derpy. But yeah, Nookie, I mean, it's a different ride. She would manipulate people to let her into their lives, and this time, her manipulation was going from a Legbeard to a Neckbeard, with the minimal effort to change anything whatsoever. Yeah, it's all just words and feelings, man. Okay, whatever. I say it one last time. Do what you want, leave me alone. He ain't what she claims to be, ever. He is, and always has been, a super manipulative person. I don't even know if she truly knows who she is in the end. Hopefully one day he will. Swapping back and forth with the pronouns is cracking me up. I don't think that they ever will. If I'm being completely frank with you, there's far too much to do, and Nookie just don't seem willing to do any of it. As far as what I know of him/her/they, he has no diagnosis, he's got no treatments, dresses like a girl, and looks like he always did as a girl, except now fatter, older, and last I saw passing by, she had a horrible pineapple haircut and was dressed in a gothic frilly dress, and all. And online, he goes by he, his, they, them, but says it doesn't matter if people call him a her. 21 plus while being over 30 already, proudly unemployed, disabled, etc. And of course draws boy kitties with This is the end. I'm glad you got off the ride because this is about the point where I would get off the ride too. We've had the patience of a saint with Nookie thus far, and it hasn't changed anything. So okay, good luck. I'm leaving. Have a nice life. Using all of these labels while fishing for commissions in the name of that label or other minorities, which of course I find kind of appalling, considering she's not really done anything that a trans person usually does. Nothing. He's the same as he always was. Only thing he did change was his legal name like 3 times already for a more masculine one, but that is all that has changed. I know he married a gay man while sporting a completely female body with big boobs and a vagine, and sure, different gender expressions exist, so I don't know, go figure. There was a time when I tried to go and figure it out, but I'm just tired now and I don't really care. Do whatever you want. Leave me alone. OP says, make it make sense, because for me, it does not. I'm not qualified for all this. We can all have our opinions on that, for sure. Which she, he, Nookie isn't really my headache anymore. That's right. Just go live your best life. And if you think that's the best version of your life, then hey, have at it. To me, it seems kind of sad, but different strokes for different folks. You could have had a better version if you really strived for it, but you never did. So yes, Nookie is in the past for me and for ReddX, and I hope that I will never see him/her again. And she, he, they will remain in history for me because I wouldn't touch that crazy with a 10-foot pole, unless it would be giving her a good whack with it for being overall just the scum of the earth. Ah, come on, don't subject the pole to that. Think of the poles! But wow, it has been a ride down memory lane, and my final words are, Nookie went from a Legbeard to a Neckbeard, and how often do you get to witness such a, transformation? Without hormone therapy, not very often at all. The one good thing that I have gotten from all of this is Greenie. She's a good friend of mine these days, and I'm happy to see her thrive. Brute out, this time for good, with unfortunate Nookie. Just a mess. People have been asking me to wrap this one up for a long time, and I guess I could see why. As soon as we jumped in, the memories of the frustration with this series came flooding back. I don't know if people are interested in it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the Unfortunate Nookie playlist up right here. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember, friends, you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye. Go ahead and cut them open. It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. Promise, where's he?